Hi everyone, it's Kerchi. Today I am finally going to show you guys how I organize my entire collection, especially Polly Pockets, which everyone has been so curious about. So I'm gonna jump right in it, starting with nail polish organizers. Now I'm gonna toot my own horn here, and I came up with this. I found this on Amazon, put my Polly Pockets in it, and everybody started asking me, what's that? What's that? How do I do it? Where do I get it? And now I see so many Polly Pocket collectors use this same method. But I am going to be a bit of a credit freak here and take credit for this because I'm so proud of having discovered this. But basically, these are just your run-of-the-mill nail polish organizers you can buy on Amazon or wherever they sell these. They're kind of annoying to put together. There's also different tiers. Like this one is a 6 tier, but when they're displayed, they are so worth it. They look absolutely beautiful. And as you can see, they hold the compacts perfectly. These are a mixture of some Japanese Polly Pockets and gotcha that I have in my collection, and they look so beautiful. You can stack them up nicely without having to cover any of the compacts. I don't know how I discovered that these would fit. I think I was looking for acrylic risers. Those are very typical when displaying collections. And I came across nail polish organizers on Amazon, and I thought, wait a minute, what if the compacts actually fit in here? You can also see a bunch behind me. They display very nicely. And just for aesthetic purposes, I wanted to go with organizers that are clear. So keywords I would type are acrylic organizers, acrylic risers, transparent organizers, things like that, because my room is not just a collection room, it's also my office, it's my gaming room, it's also my craft room. This is where I run my small businesses. So I want the whole 360 view of my room to be very cohesive, not just my collection room. So my other organizers for office supplies and things like that are also acrylic. Plus, it's clear, so it doesn't take away from the design of the toys. You can barely even see them. It kind of looks like my toys are floating. One thing I don't like is having to stack the items in my collection. It looks like a warehouse. It looks like there's not really a lot of thought and care put into them, which is what I used to do in the beginning of my collection. So I love this tiered look where you can see every single piece, every single thing. I think this one here, it's kind of tough because it's such a small space, so the ones behind it you can't really see, but for the most part I try to organize them in a way where you can at least see a little bit of the back. The second thing that I want to talk about, I don't even think I've mentioned this at all, so you're hearing it first here. This is how I display my modern Big Pocket World compacts. These are picture frame holders. Let's do a little close-up here. So this is what they look like. And I have this cute little hedgehog Polly Pocket here, and it just sits perfectly on top, and you can just set it on a shelf, hold it up like this, and it stays. And I have not had a single set fall over. And then I have actual acrylic risers. This is one of the bigger ones that I purchased. So these basically is where I would display my polyvilles, little figurines. These are very versatile. You can put anything on these. There was even a time I was putting my Polly Pocket compacts on these, but the problem is they would fall over. So this is where I would put these. So this is basically how I have them displayed up on my other shelf. And they would just sit there like this. She's a little dusty. I tried to dust her, but as a collector, people also ask me, how do I clean dust? I don't. Like, can I just be real? I can't do it all. They don't get terribly, terribly dusty, but dust happens. I told you, I'm probably one of the worst collectors because I'm kind of like, I just feel so free-spirited when I collect. I don't care if I take them out of the box. I don't care if I accidentally break them. I think I've done it on one of my pieces. I love them anyway, and I'm at least very, very organized. And yes, buying organizing tools can also be quite expensive. Not as expensive as collecting, but you want to definitely invest in nice shelves, very sturdy, so that things don't fall, you don't break any of your stuff. So there was a time I was spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on just shelves and risers, and I was feeling a little guilty, like, oh my gosh, not only am I collecting a bunch of stuff, but now I'm spending money having to organize it and buy nice shelves. But it's all worth it, and I have managed to fit everything on the shelves that I bought in the beginning. I actually haven't needed to buy any new shelves or organizers in a while, so I think I might be good for a while. So as far as everything else, I have these white shelves behind me. I don't remember where I bought them. It's either Wayfair or Amazon, but these are basically just collapsible shelves. The ones here are built into the closet. This is a closet where I display my collection. Typical keywords I would search are nightstands, small shelves, tiny bookshelves, things like that. Those are all really nice and they fit on top of desks and surfaces. So if you don't have a lot of room, I recommend those. I don't have a lot of room, so I've definitely had to improvise. And then I have, oh my God, I can't even lift it, this giant drawer of Polly Pocket figures. So I do keep them in these baggies. I take most, if not all, of the figures out of the compacts and just organize them in these baggies just to keep everything in one place. I haven't done it to every single set. I think towards the beginning I wasn't doing it, and now every compact that I get moving forward, I take all the pieces out and put them in these baggies. So I organize them from vintage, this is vintage Polly Pocket, to modern Polly Pocket. There's actually a lot more modern ones. That's crazy. Well, they do have bigger pieces and not all of them fit in the new compact. The original Polly Pockets only had like 2 to 3 pieces. Everything is also labeled accordingly what set they belong in. And then I have another large bag of modern Polly Pockets, but those are the larger sets that aren't Big Pocket World. So the modern ones definitely take up a lot more space, which is also why I stopped collecting modern Polyvilles, because they're just way too clunky. I don't collect everything Polly Pocket related. I'm not the type of collector that has to have every single thing. If it doesn't resonate with me, I'm not gonna get it. I'll only get it like 99.9% of the time if it is a compact. Everything else, I have to kind of feel it and really like it. What else do I have in here? I have so much. My Cave Club dolls, which I have in that giant bin. So I'm not gonna take the giant bin out, but I did take it out in my other video where I talked about the entirety of my collection and what I collect, dolls and everything like that. And I have a giant bin, actually 2 giant bins full of dolls that I cannot display because I am out of space. But when I was displaying my dolls, especially the little tiny Shoppies from Shopkins, why did they stop making those, by the way? They're so cute. They would actually fit in here. So again, the nail polish organizers are very versatile. You can fit so much in here. So that is it for the giant bin. I have more on the bottom. I'm not gonna show you guys everything. It is a lot, but all of my compact toys, Polly Pockets or otherwise, Legos, Shopkins, they're all in here, all the pieces. Now for the bags. I have a lot of Polly Pocket bags. I will collect probably almost every single Polly Pocket bag out there. So I do utilize the bags to organize other bags. In this case, what do I have in here? I have one of the blankets in here actually, so I put that in there. I also have Polly Pocket jewelry, which I'll put in the bags. I think there's a backpack here, and inside it does have some jewelry in it. And I've already put one of my duplicates in the pockets here. So the bags are definitely a great way to organize more of your Polly Pockets, and also a way to use the bags without actually using it in the real world, which I would never do because I don't want to get them dirty. For the rings, I use this ring organizer. What do you know? You can buy these on Amazon. They're just jewelry organizers. I also put some Happy Meals on here because there's extra room. I haven't collected any new rings lately, so it's looking a little sparse. The rings are so expensive. Like one of these, one of the rarer ones, they're like $80 for this tiny thing. Like I get it, it's a vintage collectible, but that's why I'm being a little bit more conservative with collecting the rings right now. But my vision for this was to actually have this whole thing filled with rings. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there someday. So yes, jewelry organizers, very, very handy. As far as my necklaces go though, I don't know if you guys can see, there's some hanging up here. I've just kind of bunched them up and put them in the nail polish organizers for now. But I would really love to hang them, maybe on a wall or something, have them cascade down. There's just so many things in my vision that I can't execute right now because I have no space. All right, we are in handheld mode here, so I can show you guys up close and personal what is going on with my organization. These are the nail polish organizers. They look so nice in there. If you see any dust, no you didn't. The vintage lovelies, look at all of them. You don't see any dust. Don't look at the dust. No you didn't. I love them. They just fit so perfectly in there, very versatile. You can even fit so many of the little tiny compacts. These are from Shopkins. More here, so cute. Now let's talk about the forbidden. So I do have a lot that's in box. The ones that are in box here is very intentional. It's the keepsakes. I don't want to take those out because I do like the way the keepsake looks. I think I'm just kind of making it a habit to keep the keepsake boxes, especially something like this where it's very stylized. I don't want to throw away the box, but typically I would throw away the box and display these along with all of these. And I have been asked why I keep the keepsake boxes, but I don't keep the collector Polly Pocket collector boxes, with the exception of the GCDS one. I actually said that right this time. So my answer to that is I don't freaking know. I just kind of go with my gut feeling. For this one, I really loved the packaging, so I wanted to keep it because she's pink, and GCDS put a lot of time and effort into their packaging with the 3D logo, so I wanted to keep that. For the collector editions, we can see the Harry Potter and Stranger Things and Office, all that good stuff here. I didn't keep the box, simply because the boxes for these were way too bulky, and also the compacts themselves. Look at that Harry Potter one. Way too beautiful to keep in the box. Just way too beautiful. Look at that Addams Family one with a holographic image. So cute. And the rest, my Trendmasters, I still have yet to unbox. They will be unboxed soon. I promise, I promise, I promise. I'm trying to get my booty on up and film more. This is also my raggedy closet. I don't think I've shown anybody really this side of my collection, but yeah, this is a raggedy closet. There's so much random stuff on the walls that I've just kind of covered with Polly Pockets. And this is the collapsible shelf that I mentioned earlier. So this one here just folds right up, kind of like a bookshelf. Back here in the darkness is more of the very large Disney sets. So those, unfortunately, I can't display out where I want because they're just really large. So I do keep them in there. Up here, I have more shelves. This is where I keep some of the compacts that I like but don't necessarily want front and center like Polly Pockets, because those will always take precedent over some of the other compacts. On the side here, I have books. I have little thin books which fit perfectly in there, so I have them wedged in there for now. As far as the bags go, so the bags, they're a little tricky to display. I just have them down on the ground right now, which actually looks really nice because they frame my entire collection nicely. So I don't mind them here for now. They look quite nice, actually. Maybe I can just line them up better, but I'm okay with that for now. I also used some hooks to display purses and wallets, little small items like that. It's really tricky displaying unopened stuff like that and little Miss Polly here, which is why I do want to make a habit of opening everything. And maybe at some point I'm gonna let go of the keepsake boxes so that I do have more space, but at least I can use them as shelves. And then up here, I try to keep everything cohesive. So I put all the heart compacts here. We have Lucy Locket and other cute little heart compacts. More nail polish organizers. This is the versatility I'm talking about. We can put the little tiny, the gotcha ones. These are the gotchas. And then we have more of these. What are these? Shopkins. Shopkins bag tags. Highly recommend nail polish organizers for any Polly Pocket collector. And Disney, of course. They fit the Disney compacts very nicely. Sometimes I have to stack them. It's okay though. Up here are the perfume bottles. Again, if you see dust, no you didn't, ignore it. And another forbidden area up there. So those are my untouchables. Those are the modern Polyvilles that I have stopped collecting. I keep them up there for now. I don't know what to do with them. And then we have very large Polyville sets up there that I know not what to do with. We have the Mega Mall. I know that people had asked me to showcase that and I said I would. And then honestly, I just lost interest because there are just so many better compacts out there that intrigue me. I'm just not really intrigued by any of this, to be honest. And I do use little organizers up here, bins for duplicates, Happy Meals, other vintage stuff that I had gotten from my dad that I just want to keep. Those are my super amazing, rare secret dolls that I keep way back there that I have not unboxed. And yes, that's a Novi Star. I want to collect more Novi Stars. And of course, we have my Polyvilles here. These are the vintage ones. These are on acrylic risers as well. I really wish I could display them. I'm going to say that a lot. I wish I could display these better. But I think for the space that I have, this is just on another collapsible shelf. I've done pretty well. I think they look really pretty. And back there are my Mighty Maxes. I do put them on the very bottom because they are boyish and don't really fit my pastel aesthetic. So I don't need to display them front and center necessarily. I do have more Polyvilles here that I need to organize somehow and fit in here. Out of space though. And down here, I do have more unboxed items. Lots of Star Castles. This is a duplicate. That's why I kept this here. I have another duplicate of Target. This one got lopsided. Been moving around a lot today. If I have a duplicate of something, I'll just keep them in the packaging because why not? And you know what? I'm going to be real with y'all here. You caught me in the middle of everything just having come at my house. I showed these in one of my update videos, but yes, I have lots of new toys that had come in. These are the latest ones. So these are from a company called Nailafar. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing. And we got a couple of these from Box Lunch, so I'm in the middle of organizing these actually. This one, my friends in San Diego really came through for me and got this for me at Comic-Con with a bonus figure. All right, I'm getting distracted. This is not a showcase. We are talking about organizing. And we get to the modern Polly Pocket Big Pocket World sets. And these are the little picture frame holders I was talking about. They just look so nice and they really are stable. I have not had a single one fall on me. And before I was just using the plain risers, which is the risers that they're sitting on. Let me show you guys real quick. These here without the stable base, and once in a while they would fall. And when one falls, the rest fall. So I highly recommend these. I don't know how, but they do fit them perfectly. With the exception of some of the thicker, weirder sets, I don't remember which one of these, but 9 times out of 10, they will fit. For the purses, I do just line them up here. It's kind of hard to display them. They're very large, so I decided to just line them up nicely. Right behind here, I have more acrylic risers. The die-cast cars, I just display them here side by side, not a big deal. I did say I was going to talk about how I organize everything in my collection. So my figurines here have their own shelf. This is a single shelf unit. And this is kind of my figurine slash nostalgia shelf. This is right next to my desk where I do my gaming and other work. And I just like my little vintage stuff right next to me. It makes me feel so good and cozy inside. These are my Tamagotchis. Up here is my Sailor Moon stuff. I have my Sailor Moon wand, and of course, Luna and Artemis. This part does get really dusty. You can see the dust here. I did not dust any of this. I wanted this video to be super realistic. I don't want everything curated too much to the point where it looks fake. So I just want to show you guys the reality of a collector's room, which is basically this. There's a little dust here, but you know, it's not too bad, and I'll get to it later, eventually. And this, of course, is my Sailor Moon light. I love this thing. Let me turn this on for y'all just this one time. Bam! There she is. This one I got on Etsy. So beautiful. And it just goes perfectly with my Sailor Moon wands. There was also a time I was collecting other wands and then I got bored with them. So that's all I have for now. Now up here on the other side of my room, I display some of my favorite dolls. Lots of Hello Kitty stuff, of course. Gotta display those. And I just have a couple of these shelves lined up here, and I just kind of put them there. I do wish they looked better, I really do. And these are my Yololi sets. I wanted to keep them together as well. These are tricky to display because they come in different shapes. They don't fully stand up, they don't fit in the nail polish organizers. So sets like these, they're really gorgeous on the outside, but in terms of displayability, it's a little difficult. These are some of my Disney dolls. I think I'm going to showcase this whole thing because these are actually really cute. I love the concept of the dress being a compact, so I think that might get a showcase at some point, and I have a lot. So yes, this is one side of my room, and yeah, it's not exactly wall-to-wall toys, but I think I could do a little bit better organizing these. The shapes are just so hard to work with. And I do collect pins that resonate with me. I have Alice in Wonderland, Polly Pocket, and I just have this circular pin board, and I think I'm gonna get a bigger one because I have a lot more pins now that I need to display. And that is how I organize my collection. I'm really hoping that in the future I have a dedicated room just for my collection because I would love to display my Polyvilles out like a real Polyville. I also want like a Barbie section, Barbie land. A girl can dream, but I have made the most of the space. I am in your typical 12 by 12 American bedroom, which is also my office craft room, game room, so I do everything in here. And because what I collect is so small anyway, I'm able to fit most of it in here. I just wish I could display my dolls and have a more theatrical display of everything, especially now that I am showing everything on YouTube. I wish that everything was more of like a wonderland. But those are my future goals for displaying and organizing my collection. I am an extremely organized person, but I do hate cleaning. So in terms of dusting and everything like that, I do like spot dusting, but I don't dedicate time to actually dust my collection. There's just way too much. Realistically, I can't do it. But it doesn't get that bad. It's not like gross or anything. But I do love organizing. It's one of those things that helps calm my soul. I've always been very organized ever since as a kid. I used to label everything, put my name on everything, and it bothers me as a kid and bothers me now when people touch my stuff without asking. Sometimes George will come in here and use my scissors, like my crafting scissors and stuff, to open a big Amazon box, and then I would find my scissors sticky with like sticky tape. Things like that, where I'm like, please, get out of my room. So whenever people tell me you're so organized, how are you so organized? I just say, I actually love it. Like I really do. Everything in my house is in its rightful place, as it should be. And that is it for how I organize my collection. I hope that this helps and has answered a lot of your guys' questions. Thank you so much for watching. Happy organizing, and I'll see you on the next one.